Hello, I'm Danielle and this is Kitty.
Hello.
So because Christmas is on its way and this is the time where we all tend to want to eat more comfort food with all the mince pies and all the biscuits and all the cakes and all the Christmas pud, and sometimes we put on too much weight, I've got a recipe for some really delicious raw flaxseed biscuits that tastes, well, we both agree it tastes
Very
really
nice.
yummy.
Yeah.
And all the ingredients are good for you. And it only has 4 ingredients. And so what it's made of is 1, raw brown flaxseed, which I blend just before making the bickies. So you can't really see much, but it's just brown flaxseed. The second ingredient is dried figs. You don't have to use figs, these are organic ones. You can also use dates, you can use raisins, you can use apricots, any nice dried fruit to make it taste like, chewy and fruity. Very important, there's no refined sugar in there, but there is raw honeycomb, which we get locally, and the great thing about honeycomb is it's completely unprocessed. There are no additives, it's really just made by the bees. And I was checking earlier, the GI of sugar is about 110.
Oh dear.
The GI of raw honeycomb is about 33.
Oh, that's good.
So people who have like high blood sugar issues or are at risk of diabetes, exactly, honeycomb is good for them. Honeycomb is also very good for the gut. So it's an amazing healing food. And that's why in winter it's so great to avoid all those processed cakes and biscuits which taste amazing but aren't really good for your gut flora at all. And this stuff is.
So you could have a spoonful of that every day.
Yeah.
And that would really help
Yeah.
your gut.
Yes.
Mm.
Just chop off a bit. And the wax, there's a little bit of wax in there from the beeswax, raw. And that also contains a bit of really healthy essential fatty acids. You just chew on the beeswax as well.
Oh, nice.
It's really yummy. And the 4th ingredient, there are only 4 in there, is raw unsalted butter. So this one isn't raw, this is pasteurized butter, because I couldn't get hold of any raw stuff. So if you find raw butter, that's the one to get, because the fatty acids are so much better. But otherwise, grass-fed butter is also wonderful. So we use the Yo Valley, but any grass-fed butter will do. How do you make it? So actually before we make it, you just burr up in the blender the flax seeds, and when you've got a powder, you melt the butter very gently over a low heat, and you will then pour the butter over the flax seeds and stir, stir, stir. You can also blend up the figs. Before you blend them up, I like to break off the top bit, and then you chop up the honeycomb and put it in the honeycomb.
How much honeycomb would you have?
So for these many flax seeds, I would probably take 2/3 of that to make it really yummy and sweet. Because the point of these biscuits is that they're so satisfying that you don't bother with the mince pies and you don't bother with the Quality Street or any other chocolates, because they just absolutely fill the gap. And I will run through well, actually we'll talk about the health benefits afterwards, because every ingredient, especially these 3, the flax seeds, the figs and the honeycomb, have so many health benefits that you're actually healing or helping to support the healing of your body while you're eating a sweet treat.
So how much of each then, roughly?
I have rough. So roughly this much, a little bit more possibly, of flax seeds, which you freshly grind. So you freshly grind them because flax seeds are very rich in sensitive omega-3 fatty acids that are very good for digestion, very good for heart health and super for your brain health, but they are sensitive to oxidation, which means once you've made the biscuits, so they're sensitive to oxidation once the flax seeds have been broken. As long as they're in their, let's pull out some, as long as they're whole seeds, the shell protects all the omega fatty acids and they'll last for like years. But the moment you break the shell, the flax seeds are exposed to oxygen, and you want to make sure your flax seeds are in the fridge and you eat them within 1 to 2 weeks, the broken ones.
Right.
So flax seeds have two incredible health benefits. I think three, but two really. So the first one is they're very high in fibre, both soluble and insoluble. The soluble fibre feeds healthy gut bacteria. The insoluble fibre really supports gut peristalsis. The soluble fibre, when you add water to it, it gets very gooey and it expands, and it's one of the best things to heal leaky gut. Nowadays, we hear about lots of people who eat too much junk food, get too many farming chemicals, and they get tiny breaks in their gut wall that allows undigested food to go into the bloodstream, causing all sorts of issues and autoimmune. And the soluble fibre, once you put it into a glass of water, so very simple, so put a glass of flax seeds. Sorry, I'm making no sense at all.
Spoon of.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you, Kitty. Put a spoon of flax seeds.
Oh.
Okay. Gosh, sorry, I'm talking. I start to get. Good. So, for anybody with leaky gut issues, take 1 or 2 tablespoons of whole flax seeds. Brown or golden is fine. Make sure they're organic. Put them into a big mug. Pour on some hot water and leave them for like 10 minutes, and they will just expand. All that soluble fibre gets all gloopy, and it tastes very comforting. It tastes quite nice.
Put it on your breakfast cereal.
You put it on your breakfast cereal, or you can just drink it.
Oh no, I can't drink it. No, I've tried. I can't drink it. No. Has to go in my breakfast or my smoothie.
So if you're a gourmet like Kitty, put it into your breakfast smoothie. If you're if you're like me, you can just drink it. You can add some raw honey if you want, add a drop of milk if you want, or oat milk, not the moo cow stuff, and drink it. And if you do that daily for a few weeks, it really soothes leaky gut. The second amazing benefit of flax seeds is the fibre, the insoluble fibre, which contains many lignans. Now, lignans are one of the very few ingredients out there in nature that help absorb and eliminate farming chemicals like glyphosate.
Oh.
And if you buy any carbs or any veggies from the supermarket, about 80% of them are all sprayed with glyphosate.
Yeah.
It's just, they all are nowadays. Glyphosate is the main ingredient in the herbicide called Roundup, which has been linked, especially by a very famous MIT professor called Stephanie Seneff, so I'm just quoting her research, has been linked to autism, to dementia, to Alzheimer's, to diabetes, to leaky gut, you name it, to cancer. Having regular little bits of Roundup in your diet from eating supermarket bread, supermarket pulses, supermarket grains, increases your risk of all those diseases. Flax seeds, eating the freshly milled up flax seeds with all those insoluble fibres, helps your body to get rid of the farming chemicals and the glyphosate. So it's an absolute godsend. And because of all that fibre, flax seeds fill you up. They are low in calories and they really fill you up. So, back quickly to the recipe, and it's a real no-cook, non-gourmet kind of person recipe. You freshly mill up the flax seeds. I'll do it now. So I'm milling them up. Sorry for subjecting you all to that. So now they're milled up, so you just watch it and wait till they are like powdery. Then take a pan, roughly chop up your butter, which I'm not going to do now. Put the chopped butter cubes into the pan without the wrapping paper. And on a very low heat, ideally on the warming oven. Just leave it on the warming oven for 10 minutes so the butter gets nice and soft. Once it's soft, you pour the flax seeds on top of the butter. In the meantime, while the butter is softening, you take your figs. Now there are probably a bit too many here, so I would take about 10 to 15, depending how much sweetness you like, figs, for this amount of flax. Break off that hard little bit on the end, and the others you put, once this is empty, you put the 15 flax seeds into here, and you whir them up again, so you break them down. And then you pour the broken down figs into there as well. Then you chop up your honeycomb, so we said about half to 2/3 of this. Put it in there as well, and with a soft wooden spoon, you just really work it. It's not difficult. It
Is
takes
that while it's still warm?
Yes, while it's warm. So that's right. While the butter is very soft. With hard butter, it's really hard to mix. With soft butter,
So you
it's
leave
easy.
it on the heat or not?
If you've got an agar, then with the heat that you can put your hand on, it's not too hot, then you leave it on the heat. And once you've mixed those 4 ingredients, you're done. It's ready. So then you just grease a baking tray, put the the mix into the tray with clean, nicely washed fingers, press it down and put it straight into the fridge where the butter will harden and so it turns into biscuit shape. And after about an hour, you pull it out again. With a sharp knife, you cut it into the size chunks that you like and put it into ideally into an airtight tin. So I will take a tin, line it with greaseproof paper, put the biscuits back into the tin, close the tin, go straight back in the fridge. It lives in the fridge, and when we want to eat them, we'll just take the tin out, take the biscuits we want, and put it back in.
I take it as well.
You could freeze them, yes. I haven't done that because we usually eat them so fast.
No, but you can freeze them.
You can.
Yeah.
And the last thing about figs are also very high in fibre. And if you eat, you're not going to eat 15 figs in one day, but if you did, they're very anti-parasitic. Many of us risk having parasites in our gut. It's just a side track or side effect of modern life. And figs, for whatever reason, make an environment in your intestine that the parasites don't like. So if you eat figs, fresh ones or dried ones regularly, you decrease the likelihood that you're going to have happy parasites. And it's the skin of the figs that really contains the compounds the parasites don't like.
Oh, right.
So either fresh figs, if you're lucky enough to have fresh figs, me too, or dried ones. And we're gonna, the next time we do a video, we'll have these finished and then we can taste them. Anyway, over to you,
good.
Kitty.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I'm going to tell you, if you're feeling a bit low, you think, I've got a cold coming, then this is a really good recipe. It's not great to take, but it really does work. So you want 2 teacups of water, little teacups, not mugs or anything, 2 teaspoonfuls of chopped ginger, and then a teaspoonful of cinnamon, either cinnamon bark or the powder. You don't often have cinnamon bark.
We all have the powder, don't we?
So we have the powder. And then you have a clove of garlic, chop that up. If you've got a spring onion, that's fine. If not, replace it with a teaspoonful of ordinary onion, chopped quite fine, and a pinch of cayenne pepper. So you put the 2 cups of water into a saucepan, bring them to the boil, then simmer them for 8 minutes, and then add all the other ingredients for 2 minutes. And then, in the meantime, you've got yourself, the bed's really nice and hot. You obviously do this in the evening. The bed's really nice and hot. You've got your hot water bottle, your nice warm pyjamas and goodness knows what. Get in bed and spoon the ingredients and try and eat as much as you can of that.
What does it taste like?
Garlic, ginger, and you've got to chew it, because once you start chewing it, it's not too bad actually. But see if you can drink most of the liquid anyway, but have as many spoonfuls of it as you can.
Yes.
It is hard work, I must be honest. But if you can have drink the 2 cups of water, I mean there won't be 2 full cups because obviously it boils away. And then in the morning, hopefully, you'll feel fine.
That does make sense because garlic is really antiviral and antibacterial. Ginger is really antiviral, antibacterial, and also very anti-inflammatory, so it probably eases congestion.
Yeah, and also you're getting really hot, so you're
sweating.
And
the bacteria, the viruses, well, both of them, they don't like heat.
No.
They like cool bodies, they don't like hot bodies.
Yeah.
And so if you're really sweating, they kind of go...
So make sure you have your hot water bottle, really nice and the bed really nice and warm, and stay there. You'll be really hot, but in the morning.
That's a great idea.
But you've got to get it at the very beginning of
a cold.
It's no good if it
will always help a bit, I would imagine.
Yeah, but you'll make more benefit if you get it just at the very beginning.
Yes.
So because when you get stuck in the cold, you get a tickle, don't you? And that's when you'll be most beneficial.
I always find that if I get a tickle, if I pay attention to it and I make a drink like yours and I go to bed and I literally, if I can, I spend one day in bed,
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
If you ignore it and you say, oh, I'm fine, you carry on doing all your stuff, guess what? You get a cold.
It gets you in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It does. So I am going to actually make this because they're so easy to make. So Kitty,
But I've got to take the bits off.
yes, you do. So we're going to. I'm going to chop up the butter. I like yummy salted butter. So if you use unsalted, add a pinch of salt. You can add a bit of vanilla essence to all of this if you like, because vanilla essence sometimes makes it taste quite good. So this is 250 grams, I believe.
Do you need all
200
that?
grams.
Oh.
200 grams of butter.
Oh, you need all that.
Yeah. You want it to be really moreish and yummy, so don't go low on the figs or the honey, because you want it to taste yummy.
Yeah.
The whole point is that once you eat this, sorry about that, that's Daisy. Once you eat this, you don't want the chocolates anymore.
Do you want a bit?
So I'm going to chop up this a bit. So take what I want. Get it out. Oh. Honeycomb
looks really
is the
lovely.
food of the gods.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Because that's good on its own, isn't it?
Oh, it's delicious on its own. Absolutely delicious.
But I mean, it does you good on its own, you know.
It does you good. Oh yeah.
It-
Honeycomb is full of vitamins, full of minerals. It contains the fatty acids from the wax, as I said. It helps to regulate blood sugar, apparently. They say eating honeycomb is very good for liver health. Not sure why, but statistically it is very good for liver health. So, right, so that's kind of,
Oh, I can hear that bubbling.
yeah. So it's just warmed up a bit, so I'm going to take it off now while it's still quite solid. Leave it on the side, because you don't want to heat even the butter for too long.
No.
Another tip some lovely gentleman, doctor, once told me about fats is that fats that are solid at room temperature are the kind of fats, so they contain saturated fatty acids, that you can heat without losing the integrity of the fats.
Yeah, like you can't cook with olive oil.
Fats that are liquid at room temperature contain far more unsaturated and polyunsaturated fatty acids that are very sensitive to heat. So the ones that are already liquid, you drizzle them over your food, but you don't heat them up.
Yeah.
Because if you heat them up, you risk turning a super healthy fatty acid into an oxidized, unhealthy fatty acid.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great tip.
Yeah.
So butter, coconut oil, lard, they are really
Pork fat.
healthy fats
Pork
for
fat.
cooking.
Yeah, pork fat.
Pork fat, lard, yep.
Dripping.
Oh, nice, yes. Yes, right.
Red and dripping.
Oh, oh. So I'm going to cheat a tiny bit because I don't want to take too long. Put it on a low heat. The important thing is you don't heat the flax seeds. You can heat the butter a bit. You do not heat the honeycomb. You do not heat the flax seeds. The figs, neither here nor there, but we don't need to heat them up. Right. That's almost soft now. So we pour the.
So you wouldn't get all the butter melted then? I suppose it gets too
It's
hot.
soft. It's soft
too
already.
hot, wouldn't it?
So I'm just going to wash my hands. Oh yeah, honey is even supposed to be good against colds.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Amazing. Right. So, I'm going to pour the honeycomb into this bowl with the flaxseed and the butter. The figs that Kitty has very kindly destemmed
Yeah.
are going in here. So we've got quite a lot of figs, which is amazing. I'm going to make a bit of noise because they do make noise. So I like to have these for breakfast. I'll have cappuccino made with oat milk, and I'll have a couple of these with my coffee. And it just satisfies you, it fills you up, and it stops you feeling too hungry until lunch. Because flax seeds they're about, I think, 30% insoluble fibre, which is quite a lot. And above all, because of all the chemicals in our food these days, they are a godsend because they, as I said already, they absorb many farming chemicals.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah. So still got to put the figs in, but this is what the mix looks like so far. So do you want to carry on? Let me just actually, while you carry on mixing, I'm going to put a bit more of this in here. Oh, so they're quite big. A tip with the figs is don't put too many in your blender, otherwise they will not blend properly, they'll just get stuck, as mine have. There we go. So when you fill the blender just 1/3 or half full, it blends them beautifully. Yep. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Because I banged on the table. My goodness, yeah, every time I bang on the table, the phone shakes. I remember that. Oh my goodness. So, once you've blended all the figs, you mix it up into a nice mushy consistency. And then get some baking paper. Line the pan with the baking paper, like so. And then you just spoon your mix into the pan, or into the tray. These are the most delicious cookies for me that I know. So there's no cooking involved, we're just going to put them into the fridge and get them nice and hard.
For about an hour, did you say?
Yeah, about an hour in the fridge so they get nice and hard. And it's nice when there are little bits of fig or little bits of, honeycomb in there, so you don't have to mush it too much because you get the uniqueness of all the flavours.
Two chunky bits.
Yeah.
What else could you add in there?
Well, I mean, it's lovely with raisins, organic sultanas. It's really nice with dates as well, although I prefer with figs. You can be creative, really.
I was going to say, yeah.
So you press that in. You can use your fingers, but then you have to lick it off afterwards.
Yeah, I think the honeycomb really makes
So much, it does. And every now and again you get this whole piece of honeycomb in it and the honey just melts in your mouth and it's like, so good. And you can, if you're, well organised, you can get a clean wooden spoon, you can rub a little bit of coconut oil or butter onto the spoon and then it's much easier to just press down without it sticking, otherwise it sticks a bit. But this is good. That's good enough. So there we go, and that goes in the fridge, and an hour later we taste it. Nice. What's the mix like?
nice. Be nice when it's done.
It's good. It's very good.
Right.
Right.
That's our lot for the day.
That's our lot for the day. So have a gorgeous morning, evening, weekend, whatever. And if you're going to try, I'm going to put together the ingredients of this 4-ingredient recipe because I know some people like precise volumes and not my kind of rough estimate, and put it beneath the website. And if you do try them, and I really recommend and I hope that you do, let us know how you get on and what you think. Right, bye bye from me.
Bye for me.
See you soon.